Welcome back to Interview Ninja Step 76, and we're going to see some real progress. How the subconscious mind can turn positive and use a sense of direction to get around obstacles. Corbin has a roadmap of where he wants to get to in this block test, and he's going to use it. Using a different mental pathway to get into a comfort zone that achieves the purpose. So in this step, he finds a different approach that really works for him and draws on what's in his subconscious already.
I'm going to skip awareness of life and beauty because it keeps tripping me up. Conversation words.
The conversation and use of words topic is included in the block test right near the beginning because I want to assess how much Corbin is using the conversational tools we've given him to improve his communication skills and the whole area of rhetoric and interpersonal dynamics. Things like handling conflict, persuasion, negotiation, getting and giving accurate information, that can be a challenge in some countries, making friends, rapport, questioning, active listening, building a conversation, and so on. They are all social skills that he has been briefed on, and we need to know, is he using it? To what extent has he built his personal power and the ability to control situations through the use of using his social skills? And I think we're going to see that he may well have made progress, but he's not really aware of what that progress is. And I think he's going to dodge the bullet on this one, but we'll have to wait and see.
I'm panicking now because I'm making such a job of it. But
Corbin just found the stop recording button, so that's the end of take 2, as they say in the movies. At this point, his subconscious reminds him he is supposed to be talking about his Strictly Come Dancing interview within this section. You and I know that will be the next part of the block test assessment and should be much closer to normal social interaction, interpersonal dynamics. People like to tell anecdotes, and from children on up right through all adulthood, you will see people exchanging anecdotes and sometimes patiently listening to another person while they take their turn to tell their anecdote. But of course it can be a very pleasant way of socially interacting. From an assessment point of view, takes 1 and 2 show me there is still a lot to do on awareness, consciousness, and conversational control. All the basics are there in place, and what we need to do now is get them back out of his subconscious cupboard and get him working on them and applying them. And we'll see more of that as we go into step 76, when I start putting him under a little bit more pressure, because it's going to be necessary for him to make the progress he wants to. Now he's come back from his travels and is facing the reality of what he's going to do now at this stage of his life. He has to cross the bridge for real from childhood into the world of work, and quite possibly so do you, which is why you're watching. So there is a great deal still to be learned, even though we are so far into this course. This is really bringing it all together, and apply yourself and you will definitely succeed.
hey, I think it's working. Hey, it's me, Corbin. I'm back from my travels. I've been away for about 4 months now, maybe 5 months since you've seen me last. Got back from traveling about a month ago, and I had about 4 months of traveling, and it was really, really great. Best thing I've ever done. Pretty easy.
In less than 10 minutes from the start of take 1, Corbin's subconscious has now totally recovered his talking to camera skills. He's smiling, he's using movement and projecting to you, the listener and observer. Like any skill, practice makes perfect. It was lying dormant in takes 1 and takes 2, but now he has quickly reactivated it. Now, how is he going to handle his earlier difficulties? Will he confess or excuse them or just crack on? Has he learned anything about himself in those 10 minutes in terms of resilience and introspection? I wonder.
Let me put that on silent there. I had a conversation with Graham before I left. I think we got it on video. You may have seen that one, about all my things to look out for across all the countries that I went to. And it was really handy. I think if I'd gone without that conversation, or maybe without just sitting with Graham in general, there were a lot of things that I would have missed. Things that you maybe wouldn't notice at first, just the way people are behaving towards me because of maybe my nationality or my race, or just the way that people behave towards each other, kind of just based on the fact that you're, well, this is, why am I, I'm going to skip the whole thing and I'm going to go straight to confidence because I made such a mess of the rest of it. This is embarrassingly bad.
I designed this block test to have a difficult start. Remember, there are a few vital things I need to discover so I know where to focus and achieve progress. These next few minutes will establish how resilient he has become, and can he turn difficulty into energy? Can he recover from something that for him may feel like a school exam, where he cannot do the first 2 or 3 questions and needs to do his best on questions he can answer? And can he then go on from strength to strength? In life, totally unlike school, earlier failures do not count and can often be a fantastic start. It's how you handle what happens next that counts and creates a foundation upon which you can build.
My confidence. I would say that my confidence has gone up generally quite considerably. I feel much more confident as a person outside of being in front of a camera. I feel more confident in the way I talk to people, even in my body language, in interviews especially, just in general. I just feel way kind of better. I don't know whether that's because I've been talking to Graham about it so much, or just because I'm growing up, or maybe one is the result of the other. Who knows? But I would say I do feel much more confident in myself than I did previously. And it's good. I like it very much. I wouldn't say I'm empowered by any means. I mean, I've only just started in the grand scheme of things, but I definitely feel better. My approach to each day.
This block test question is to find out how purposeful he has become. How does he think about each day? Does he plan? Does he think about his physical and mental energy? Does he set any goals, either short or long term? In terms of Gestalt's cycle, does he see blocks and overcome them? In the earn, learn, build dynamic, does he behave in a conscious way? Does he create any deliverables? And does he realize the importance of identifying what deliverables he wants to produce and assessing his own progress towards those particular assets? Because they can be personal assets if you use them well, and you can build your personal power using your past deliverables.
It's changed now that I'm not at school and I don't follow a uniform schedule. I have a pretty different approach to every day. If I'm honest, I kind of make my days whatever I want them to be now, which is really nice. But I can see how that can be a blessing and a curse. I think if you're not careful, it's easy to spend time doing things that maybe don't matter as much. I think without some kind of forward planning, you can worry about nitty-gritty things in your life that maybe don't matter quite as much. For example, well, my general day. I'll wake up at the moment, because it's currently August, it's the 1st of August 2018, so there's all my friends haven't gone to university yet. Everybody is still in Bath, everybody is around, so I'm doing a lot of gigs and a lot of music in bands. So at the moment, my day pretty much consists almost every day of a band rehearsal of some form with a band. I'm in about 4 at the moment. We're playing for 4 different groups. Some of them are just me and a singer, and I tend to rehearse almost every day. And when I'm not rehearsing, I'm doing my own music, trying to make Instagram videos. Maybe you've seen Instagram. It's pretty cool, and I can put all my music up there, and it works really nicely as a kind of small online portfolio type thing that I can send to young, hip people who maybe want to do some music with me, which is great. So my time right now is pretty consistently spent on some form of musical activity. But my approach to this is a pretty positive one. I think because I know that I'm not going to uni next year, I feel like it's really my responsibility to grasp what I spend my time doing now, which is really nice because I can make it whatever I want it to be, but it's slightly daunting because if I don't make it good, or if I don't use my time well, it's entirely my fault if things don't necessarily go to plan. So my approach is an optimistic one. I want to just do whatever is making me happy, and hopefully, eventually, if I keep doing it, it'll be enough to support myself as well. But generally, very positive outlook at the moment. I'm really enjoying just being a 19-year-old music man in Bath, and I hope I can keep doing that for a little bit longer.
I like that. It's so good to hear he's feeling that bit more confident, in fact, much more confident. He's also aware of the future and a need to plan, and he's taking responsibility for that. He's actually producing Instagram deliverables, which is also very good, and it's a very good start. And what's as important as everything else is he's having fun. There's no sign of resilience issues. He's not been damaged at all by his 2 false starts, but it's too soon to learn anything about his recovery capability. So maybe we're going to have to test him a bit more on recovery later on. Meanwhile, in step 77, we're going to hear about his interview, and maybe the subject of being challenged and recovering will come up in that stage. Let's hope so. But let's hear about how he got on with his interview, which is really probably the first really important step for him in his career.